All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Plastic Memories, episode 10.
Okay.
All right, Michiru had her amazing moment in the previous episode.
Absolutely wonderful. Made me turn my opinion of her pretty much on a dime.
Yep. Yeah. And Kazuki has split up Aira and Tsukasa.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big deal.
It is a big deal. Now, and probably in a good way.
Yeah, she is making this decision executively.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this is something that will literally have to pull them to connect outside of work.
Right.
Now, that is a disappointment, though, because on the short term, that makes it difficult for them to spend time together the way they did in the past.
And Tsukasa probably hasn't been working there long enough to have vacation days, so...
Yeah, basically we end up in a situation where forces and structures at work are now starting to pull the couple apart, which is a classic bit to have right when the dramatic tension starts to hit the peak levels and then continue.
But that's also really good because then it'll hopefully make them question of, okay, what is exactly the deal here? Do we want to be together? And what does that mean? And, you know, all that stuff. So, yeah.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, everyone, be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below and then come back here for the discussion. It worked! Aira confessed her feelings and just everything to Tsukasa.
Yep. Oh boy.
And we still got 3 episodes left.
We still got 3 episodes left.
You can do so much in 3 episodes.
You can do a lot with 3 episodes.
Okay, awesome.
Now maybe at this point, I might just be fantasizing here, but maybe at this point they'll take some time off from work, you know? Like maybe, possibly, maybe that won't work. But,
I mean, like... Even if it's just a day. Even if it's just a day.
A lot can happen in a day.
Yeah. So what's really exciting about this was Kazuki was a character. I think we were always kind of like, okay, we like her fiery kind of aspect of her personality. She cares a lot. She goes after things and gets them done.
But there's also that other aspect.
But there was this contradiction in her. Yes, exactly. That she treated Aira with a little bit of... special regard, and it wasn't always positive.
Yes.
So in this case, once we found out, a while back when her backstory with Aira was revealed, we're like, oh, I get it now. So she didn't want to basically have to deal with the pain of going through this whole thing there. So she split them up.
Yep.
And it's one of those things of where she regretted it, all that time.
Right.
She drinks in probably a lot of ways because of it. There's other reasons probably as well, but that's a big one, I would say. And she doesn't want Aira and Tsukasa to make the same mistakes here.
That she did.
But it's cool because her taking a direct intervention into this is something that she would do. But it looked like, if anything, she was trying to combat against the romance.
Right.
Whereas... in a twist, no, she's actually trying to knock some sense into Aira.
Right, and that's one of the things that I've really grown to appreciate about this show and how it handles the characters, because pretty much all of the characters, I would say, start out seemingly as some kind of trope or other.
Yeah, pretty one note.
Yeah, and they still hold to that trope,
yes,
but they don't play it straight, right?
Yeah.
They throw that spin on it, even if the spin isn't necessarily apparent from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
With Kazuki, it was something where the spin was apparent pretty quickly, right? And then, of course, Aira, because, she's one of the, the core characters.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we got Michiru earlier. So, and then even Eru, right? And that's... I gotta applaud the show for doing that because they took the thing of okay, what a lot of other shows would do and be like, melodrama near the end, workplace romances, you can't have that, right?
Right.
And because of how they've set up that, no, like we might hit a lot of the beats of the tropey stuff, but we're going to be doing it for different reasons, right? It's something where when this came up, we were able to be like, yes. Awesome, yeah, because something like this needs to happen, right? not just the what, but now they're, no. There's more to it than that. And Kazuki gets into it, and she's very upfront. She's like, yeah, no, the office romance thing, no,
that's just a pretext.
That's just a pretext.
Yeah.
Here's what needs to happen, right? And a lot of it involved work on her part, and I'm really glad that happened, because it was something where she was basically accepting responsibility for the part that she had to play.
Yes.
And how Ira was thinking about this, because she was her partner before, and Ira probably looked up to her a lot, and she dropped the ball,
to say the least.
Yeah, she did something selfish.
And what's cool about this is they drew the line and then also kind of crossed it here with something rather clever. Was they were trying to make the point of how if you're doing this for Tsukasa's sake, then you should give him the opportunity to make those memories with you because you want him to remember you in a positive way.
Right.
But you are allowed to be selfish here and basically request what you want in this specific instance here.
Right.
Because while it is definitely going to cause him pain, don't be focusing on the negative here with regards to how pain is going to happen. Like, yeah, you can't stop that.
Right.
It wasn't even something they brought up. It was just something that they almost, like, by omission just was like, yeah, of course, don't even, like, waste time going.
You're going to die, right? Like, that's a thing.
That's reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we end up in this situation where she's confessing to Tsukasa, she ends up saying what I want. She's like, what I want, what I want.
Yep.
And I'm just like, yes, that's good. Because like in a lot of ways, like, the idea that she wants to make more memories, she wants to be with him, all this stuff is something where she might subconsciously in some ways expect him to, like, this is how maybe warped you can get when your feelings are so intertwined with a person like this, is you actually think that they're going to feel about this the same way that you do with regards to this source of pain.
Sure. Yeah.
So she's like scared maybe even on some level that he'll reject this.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, of course not. I'm always going to be with you.
Like, have you met me? Like the trope that I'm putting the spin on is the, protagonist that is almost like too competent in certain things, like
so I'm going to protect you.
Yeah, exactly.
I am going to be the good boy.
I will not let this phase me, kind of a thing. Right.
Now, who cares if it phases him?
Right. He's still agreeing to it. He's still saying that this is what he wants to do. Exactly.
This is the thing that I like about Tsukasa, is that they've shown him at multiple points, and they do it kind of almost cleverly with the cheek slapping thing. That's an example of putting on a face, basically.
Right.
So he is somewhat, dishonest to himself in that he's going to be okay with this, because of course he's not going to be okay with this. This is going to hurt like hell.
Yeah.
But he is going to, prepare himself.
He's going to grit those teeth.
He's going to grit those teeth, go in and do a good job. Now that they have accepted each other, that the office has accepted this, I love that they had it be a public thing. They didn't have it be something because it had to be like in some private area. No, let's go out and do this. And I loved that it was under the context of Ira being stubborn. I'm like, Kazuki, you're one to talk.
Right. Yeah.
But was great was that once we revealed how stubborn they both actually were when they were in the same room together, Ira was actually confronting Kazuki about how unfair she was being and all this. And then it led to that situation where, Kazuki's like, I get that, absolutely. But I have made a choice here that you're about to make, and I can tell you that you're not going to be happy with that choice when this all ends.
Yeah, so, and it's a great way to kind of do like a sort of a makeup between the two of them without really doing it, because it's Kazuki admitting that was a mistake. I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah, exactly.
I did. And it's not trying to apologize and trying to basically go back on the past kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's more of just, but this is where we are now.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? So then when she gets into the room and stuff and Kazuki bumps her, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. What?
Cool. She's like, I'm on your side. But come on, girl. Let's chop and do this.
Yep.
Because this is what you want, and you're certain about it,
and
it's just a little bit awkward.
You're on the
and
clock.
Vulnerable.
Yeah,
and yes, you are on the clock. And that is something that is is always a sad reminder with regards to all these situations, because even though they can end up having some wonderful moments like the random mob boss and bodyguard, I'm like, oh, that's rather wholesome and surprising. This is a lot of time to go with this. And it was to have her explore the whole thing.
Right.
Of, she's able to acknowledge what's the best thing for those when it's not.
When she's not in
the equation.
Right, exactly. Yep.
And so that makes sense that Kazuki would then see that, call her on it.
Yep.
And it's
great too, because since that Tsukasa is mainly the perspective character, we haven't really seen much of Aira outside of Tsukasa, right? And certainly we have a little bit, but it's also within the context of the situation that's going on, right? Because Tsukasa was able to kind of help her go back to that way she was before the fact her approaching death got to her, right? And then be removed from the equation, because then that was another problem, right? That was another thing that she was worrying about and whatnot. Yeah. This was, I feel like, our first true glimpse into the kind of person that Aira was, beyond just the exposition that we got about her from Constance. So
it did feel like we had gotten some perspective moments though with Aira before.
Well, not that we haven't gotten perspective moments with Aira, but that it was always from that context of how the struggles that she was having now, right? Not the struggles that she or the lack of struggles that she had then, right?
Okay. I agree that was something that was new. The whole stuff with Constance being able to give exposition regarding Aira's past and that state she was in and how she started, if anything, the whole way and how they care for the Giftias more than what corporate would want.
And that story was in parallel kind of showing while Constance is telling,
exactly.
That way, like, in case anyone got confused of like, this seems, Aira's acting really, really, weird, like out of the blue, like what's going on,
It's like, no, this comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
So in some ways, in a weird way, Tsukasa reawakened that. In some ways, because of him being here, because of her understanding a little bit more about maybe what love is and also what it means to hold on to those memories.
Right.
She ends up subconsciously or just naturally doing this in this situation here. And maybe Kazuki big-brained this and was like, yeah, this is one that will lead to that kind of situation, because she did say, this job is primed for you. And then when I see her like interacting with all the bodyguards up front or the doormen and what have you, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. What a silly instance here. But then it ends up being a thing where no, it's all just totally good. And then they give the thumbs up.
Yeah.
There were a couple of funny comedy moments in this episode where I was like, oh, that was good. I like that. Because usually the comedy in this show is kind of hit or miss. Like,
right, yeah. Sometimes it's great, and then sometimes it's sort of like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. But so one of the reasons that I absolutely love that it was in full display at the office, the confession, the eventual confession, is because you just know that even if it wasn't in a public place, even if she was like, hey, can we go somewhere else?
Everyone would be watching.
Everyone would be listening on the other side of the door. It would, like, if you've seen the 2005 Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley and everybody, it's basically that. And thank the Lord for that. I thought it would never happen, like, because
I love how the whole office romance thing is something where they're all like, wait, what?
What? No?
Like you almost imagine them if this was a much more like, different type of show. They'd been like, Sherry and I have been like, like going at it for like the last like 3 years. Right. No problem.
Wait, you think that isn't happening? I mean, Sherry and what's the
Yasutaka? Yasutaka, he's been with like everyone here except
she
Michiro,
chokes him every
basically.
Sunday. Like, but yeah.
And then Zach's like, yes, and I am the pimp god.
It's true though.
But okay. And the chief is all like, wait, what was happening? And then they're like, oh, quick. And then they bop him on the head and then like,
okay, use the forget me stick. Yeah.
Now you see, you had a stroke. You had a stroke. You were obviously seeing and hearing
there was
things.
something slipped into your food or whatever that clearly
Yeah.
you were just seeing things. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh yes, that's true. I have been very stressed recently with my daughter and everything.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, just don't. Yeah. He has too many things to worry about right now.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But here we are. We're on the other end of a wonderful, wonderful confession, and they both are ready to move forward into the scary final month or so.
Yep.
I would say maybe month.
And looks like we have about 2 weeks left, given that it's the time in between the episodes, not because on the last episode she'll be actually dying.
It should then be 3 then.
Oh no, because wait.
Yeah.
This is 10.
10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 13.
Oh,
so
yeah. No, never mind.
Weeks.
Yep. That's
3
right.
weeks minimum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So, y'all, if you want to see that next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yes, that's right, because I know you haven't heard of it before, because otherwise you totally would have gotten it, right?
Right.
So I wrote a book. It's called Battle Lines. It's really cool, and it's available for purchase on Amazon. Link down in the description below. It's in both hardback and ebook. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.